Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with another video of World of Warships. And in this video, I'm going to be featuring Tier 10 Steel Aircraft Carrier, and that is one and only the FDR. Well, I want to post this FDR video because, well, as you can see, there is an Essex in the enemy team. And he's actually a really decent player, which is playing Essex. And I want to showcase to you that how you can actually bully Essex if you know what you're doing. I mean, Essex is particularly pretty good against FDRs or shenanigans like that because, well, it does have really powerful fighters. They have less reaction time compared to other aircraft carriers in the game. But the problem with the Essex is that if you keep this poor guy spotted, which I will showcase you here, with the fighter plane, if I can manage to put this here, maybe, and it does also have 30mm armor plating. It does create a lot of issues with this poor Essex unless he uses the smoke for himself. Now Essex have 30mm armor all over the place, and if he doesn't use the smoke, he's going to get bullied pretty high. Like FDR bombs and torpedoes will basically going to manage a lot of damage against him. And look at that damage. I just did like 1/3 of his HP blapped by simply dropping bombs on him, because FDR does have insane alpha damage with these bombs and a lot of bombs in payload as well. So it's pretty devastating. This poor Essex have basically smoked up, but you can see here that Essex doesn't have really much of a chance except to basically smoke up, and he can just put fighters around here and there. But I mean he wants to play the game as well, so when he will be able to do that, right? So I know he smokes up, he basically disengages like that and let the battleships not shoot him, because this is the only way for Essex to survive, and obviously this is what I will also recommend you to do that. But again, once I have again a chance to drop this guy, I will keep dropping him so that you can find out that FDR does have a way to bully out even Essex, right? If Essex try to put the A, you just ignore either Essex if he drops the fighter on top of himself, or basically go for other target. And in this case, if he drops for himself, the Essex will not going to manage to help like other ships, which basically kind of nullifies the role as a support carrier, because if he tries to defend himself up like this over and over again, it's gonna be a big problem. As you can see, FDR does have really tanky planes, and I think the torpedo bombers of Essex shows that he's actually a bit concerned, and he's trying to put the fighters for himself. And this has the reason why. Look at that, Essex does have really big fighters. As you can see here, he smoked himself up again, which is understandable, but I just have to keep spotting him and bully him like that. And this bullying is going to be enough to basically make Essex's life even hard. Yeah, it does, kind of cause issues that I have to basically spend some time not dropping other ships, but Essex is basically doing nothing, because Essex does have tactical squadrons, but I mean he's not using tactical squadron smokes for any other allied teammate. He's using the smoke for himself, for his survivability, which basically makes like pretty insane, insanely bad for this poor guy to basically do nothing. In this case, I dropped the Kurfurst, and since, well, I have to wait for 25 seconds, I'm just gonna drop 5 torpedo hits on Kurfurst, and I will just go back and bully him again. So this bully session against this poor Essex is gonna keep going like this, and he has pretty much less chance against FDR planes, since he won't be able to do anything right now. But there's a Van Spajic. Now Van Spajic actually is a tier 9 Dutch cruiser, which does have really good AA. Now in this case, I actually have to basically get past through this AA, and since I don't have much HP to the planes, like even still, then I managed to bypass myself. And in this case, again, Essex tried to smoke himself up, and he used like 3rd smoke for himself. As you can see here, this is not really going good for him at all right now. It's really going bad. Now in this case, he popped the plane, I can see here, but I do also put the fighter, and what that basically means is that the fighter actually going to tag with his fighter, which basically means that I can still easily able to drop this Baiji. Now in this case, I don't have much HP to the planes, and planes going to get shot down with the fighter of Essex, because Essex, I'm basically As you can see, FDR, please, can you not? It's a complete bully show, man. This poor guy has basically no chance to do anything. He's not able to play the game. Now, Essex, if he basically turns out, Tactical Squadron does work against him because, well, Tactical Squadron use jet boosters. And the best performance of jet boosters for Essex or even knock him off will be that if his carrier will be bow in towards the enemy, which is us, not kiting. If it's in kiting position, it will take a lot much more time for its fighters to come out, and he will actually not be able to get a lot of value from the jet boosters, because if you use jet boosters like this, you will spend almost half of your jet boost time by just turning around and basically coming back towards the enemies, which is a huge disadvantage. He has to turn back. Like, look at that minimap, and Essex particularly. He has to basically turn his squadrons 180 degrees to basically utilize the value. Now, in this case, again, he used the forward smoke, and this is keep going right now. I mean, he does not know what to do. He basically go behind the island, which is the right thing. But this is a typical scenario. If people say that FDR doesn't have counter against Essex, well, you can start bully them altogether. You will keep them spotted with these planes. I mean, unless they will do some spotting nerf, Essex, is not going to be able to do anything unless he basically tag his fighters, with my patrol squadrons. He won't be able to do anything. Like, in this case, I'm just starting to drop on Shikishima casually. Like, I'm just going to go and drop this guy and get some decent damage. In this case, not that much. I think my aim was a bit not the best. But again, I got a fire and he instantly damage controlled. Again, something that you should not really do. Once you see FDR trying to drop you like this and you get one fire, please, I would recommend you again and again that don't DCP. But people never understand the shenanigans of FDR, that he can come for the strike after 25 seconds, which is not a whole lot of time, but they do this anyway. And in this case, Shikishima probably going to take even more damage from these planes. And look at that drop that I'm doing against Shikishima, and I got, well, 7 bomb hits. Unfortunately, it was not a permanent fire. This is pretty unfortunate. I was expecting some fire on this guy, but you can see I bypassed through the Des Moines and Shikishima AA with ease, and I'm just gonna go and basically take a look at Essex. Essex, as you can see, he's constantly understanding the situation. He knows that I am constantly hunting for him. And look at the Essex. He basically knows that he can't do much at this point. Like, he basically is trying to cover himself by just going around my planes. And he put the plane. That's fine. But I'm just gonna go. I bypass his fighter like this. He basically given me slightly bit of a space, and he pressed the F button. Now he wants to use the other squadron, which I can understand, because, well, otherwise he will have a lot of issues. And Essex is trying to basically in a kiting position, trying to keep himself survive, but I know that it's not gonna be good enough for him. I'm just gonna put the fighter so that the Essex will get spotted, and if someone able to manage to shoot him down here, it is definitely possible. Now in this case, dropping Essex here, and let's see how much damage that I can do. Now I already did some damage with the bombs, which basically means that I'm not going to get much damage the next strike, which is going to happen. But still, if I get how much damage? Okay, I got 3 fires and I did like 12,000 damage. Not that bad, but again, the saturation does kicked in, but still Essex have only 23,000 HP left. That is pretty unfortunate. I mean, he doesn't have much chance to do. Like, as you can see here, Essex does not have a lot of HP left, and you can basically bully like this over and over again. Your spotting will eventually can potentially kill Essex, because Essex have really poor armor, unless he smokes up for himself, which he doesn't. But at this point, the game does not look good. I think the enemy team basically able to steamroll the C flank, unless there is a Jinan. The Jinan is here, our teammate on the C, which you can see in the minimap. So he's the only guy left, but let me go and drop the Kurfurst. Now Kurfurst actually have fighters, which is unfortunate, because fighters actually potentially reduce the FDR tankiness quite a lot. Like, fighters does have really powerful impact in taking down some of these FDR tanky planes. But still, he shot down 4 of my planes, which does hurt me right now because I don't have full squads. I have basically taken some damage from Essex AA and all the other shenanigans. But still, I know that Kurfurst DCP my 2 floods, which basically means that if I get a permanent flood again, Kurfurst doesn't have a chance to survive here. 39,000 HP is not gonna help him a lot. There is a Conde, which is my division mate, but let's see if I can actually manage to kill this Kurfurst. Now here, he does have 39,000 HP, and you can see the tankiness of FDR planes is pretty ridiculous. I basically turned like a, like this, and well, Kurfurst never even thought in his dreams that I will turn and basically get a like 90-degree drop like this, and I got 7 torpedo hits, which in fact killed the Kurfurst, which is pretty unfortunate for him. He does have fighter, but fighter doesn't have done anything in return, and I have to do something about the Petropavlovsk. Now Petropavlovsk is definitely pretty scary around flanks. Des Moines radar and probably the Petro radar basically killed our Jinan, which is actually a bit of a problem. Now here, I can do 2 things. I can go and kill the Petro, or I can go for the Des Moines. And in this case, the Petro is actually having a isolated position, which means that I should be dropping Petro, and Petro shouldn't be that big of a deal, even with defensive AA, since I still have almost full FDR squadron. But in this case, you can see the Petro is gonna turn and maneuver, but let's see if I can manage to get a top quality maneuver against this Petro. Now, Petro is trying really hard to basically maneuver against my planes. You can see here, this is exactly what you should do, but look at the turn that I do. It's pretty hilarious to watch. Like, I mean, Petro is trying hard to basically dodge these bombs, but again, I got 2 bomb hits, which is really nice. We killed the Baije, by the way. My Conde division mate killed the Baije, and the Petropavlovsk is only remaining with 6,775 actually. 675 HP remaining, so 1 drop should be enough, or maybe if the Hector will be able to kill him, that should also be enough. In this case, I'm just gonna drop him again, because if I get a kill, I will have 2nd kill, which would be nice, and I'll drop this guy with ease, because, well, at this point, I mean, I'm not sure that Isa is gonna be enough. Like, he's isolated, and I know that he will eventually die, which is pretty good. Des Moines also died from the Napoli drop, which is really nice. Napoli has 710 HP, which basically means that he will die, and yeah, Shikishima basically killed him, which is, again, unfortunate, but again, Shikishima is there, and I can drop him with ease, no problem whatsoever, and I can turn like this, I can get a pretty good damage against Shikishima. Now here, he shoot down some of my planes, but I do have 1 squad left, and look at that damage again. I think I did like what, 12,000 damage, which is okay. I still have 1 squad left, but I'm sure that he will shoot down 1 plane if I attack him like this. But if I get a permanent fire, that would be pretty nice. I already did like 200k damage, which is pretty good. And I will drop this Shikishima like this really quickly. And as you can see that someone get a permanent fire, he will shoot down 1 of my plane, which is unfortunate. But again, I still have 4 bombs, so that's a lot of damage in payload still, regardless. 2 bomb hits, saturated armor, saturated superstructure, well, less damage overall, and that's fine. I mean, you might be asking that why you didn't kill the Essex, and the reason why I didn't kill the Essex is that the value of killing Essex by going far, far away is not worth it than killing the ships on sea. In this case, I spotted a lot of ships like Des Moines and Napoli. Our teammates killed them in return, and that's the reason why we have to do something about it. So I basically switched my target, which many people might argue that it is not worth it. If you didn't kill the carrier, then why you are doing everything like this in the first place? And I understand that. I completely agree with that. But this is sort of my gameplay. I basically want to bully the Essex, and I basically hamper his gameplay a lot, like this. And I didn't, hamper my gameplay because I just simply going, targets, a lot of other targets than Essex during those attacks. And that's the strength of the FDR. You can do that with ease, no problem whatsoever. And finally, the Shikishima is kind of in a tough spot. I got a flood, and you can see the torpedoes, they're going to be enough to kill the Shikishima. And I killed him as well. netting me 216k damage, which is pretty good. Shimakaze is pretty low, and someone is basically messaging that you can spot him and eventually kill him, which is okay. It is possible for later game, but let me go and drop the Delaware and finally the Essex that is actually having low HP. And well, there is a Delaware out there, and let me just skip it towards the Delaware so you can actually able to find out. Okay, so I spotted the Delaware, and Delaware actually has pretty low HP, and our Alvaro de Bazan. Oh my goodness, the Essex actually got pretty much bullied right now. CV, you raise my cortisol. Oh my god. Oh my god, that guy. He must be old enough, I guess, and that's why he's like having this serious issue, because he doesn't want to die, and he's not liking the fact that I bullied him in this game completely. But it is understandable. But at the end, I killed the Delaware, which has given me another kill. Now, I'm not sure if the Essex does have fighter plane with his bombs, and that's the reason why I'm not going towards the Essex. Yeah, Essex does have fighter, but you can see here that even though Essex does have really big plane, like, sorry, the what do you call it, this whole big bubble of anti-CV or anti-carrier thing, but I still managed to bypass it on time by using my full speed boost, and now I'm gonna go and drop the Essex pretty much. Now Essex does have low HP right now, and let me check where the Essex is, and there it is, this guy with 23,000 HP. If I would have used the torpedo bombers, I would have done more damage, but again, using bombs means that he will not going to die. But I just take my time, drop him pretty much perfect enough that I still get again three fires. That's hilarious to watch, man. I got 3 fires before when I dropped the Essex, and I got 3 fires again, so it's pretty hilarious to watch. But now I still have torpedo bombers left. Couple of them, it's not a problem. I'm just gonna save some torpedo bombers here. You can do that, and let me go and skip it towards the Essex right now. It does take some time to get towards the Essex finally, but I have now finally come up to drop torpedo bombers. The time is pretty low, it's only 35 seconds remaining, and you can see that I can do this hilarious maneuver again towards the Essex as well, or against the Essex, and well, he knows that he's gonna die now because the game is pretty much over. I basically didn't ask, at least I asked Konde here that don't shoot him because I want to get my Kraken, which I did get at the end, and only 50 seconds remaining and the game is pretty much over. So that's basically the FDR game, and let's go and check the team score. Finally the game ends, and it was a victory. It was a really good game, and as you can see, I bullied the Essex from top to bottom in this entire game, and he felt that beating. Like, he was really, having these issues that he will be killed. I didn't able to kill him at the end until the end of the game. But still, you do have a chance in FDR. I mean, A6 planes, if they are not interceptors, they can be pretty much countered by fighters. So this is one thing to keep in mind. And hence the reason why I bullied him. If he does have an interceptor build, well, that could potentially go pretty much against me, because then I have to use the F button and I have to save my planes. And I can't do much about it. But still, you can see that I win this game. 240k damage, decent credit earning because, well, FDR is a premium ship. And I got the Kraken, the Combat Scout, pretty much usual in FDR. That's pretty much possible every single game. High caliber, 50 bomb hits with 45 penetration. You can see 90% hits, which is really nice. Like, 90% penetration is pretty good. 39 torpedo hits, 11 fires, and 5 kills. And in the team score, well, 2.3k base XP, almost 2.4, which is really nice. Essex played well, but I basically hampered his gameplay a lot, while on the other hand, I keep on dropping targets and still getting a lot of base XP in return. And this helps a lot winning the games. You basically nullified the power of A6, and he basically smoking himself up rather than someone else, which does help a lot. Team score wise, killing Shikishima, pretty much A6, Kurfurst, Delaware, Petro, and Baiji. Not a whole lot of targets except Shikishima and A6 and Kurfurst. They are particularly my important targets, but again, spotting damage is pretty insane, 189k damage. And you can see that how many people shoot down other ships. Like, look at the Salem, look at the Des Moines I was talking about. and even Vance Pajic all have taken a lot of damage from just this spotting damage. So I hope you like the gameplay, and if you do like it, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will catch you into the next one. Peace out.